money, it coming and go. So what?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about what's going on with Taraji P Henson. Of course, a lot of you have seen it already. She was tearing up discussing how her pay is looking in Hollywood versus what she feels that she is worth. Now, over the years, we've seen quite a few different black actors, actresses speak on the same thing. I don't believe we've actually seen one reply or cry as Taraji P. Henson has cried. Not anyone of her stature, anyway. But she's very important to the culture. She has made classic movies that will go on to stand the test of time forever. She is a phenomenal actress. Let's get into a little bit of what's going on here so that you guys can, chime in on it.
Tonight, Taraji P. Henson's brutally honest and emotional explanation of Hollywood's pay disparity is going viral. CNN host Gayle King interviewed Henson and the cast of The Color Purple. It's a film from CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, King asked Henson if she was thinking about quitting acting.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost.
Now, getting paid a fraction of the cost, that's something that's been in the African American community since we've been over here. Okay. First, we started off getting paid nothing as slaves. And then once we were able to receive employment or get freedom, a lot of us participated in sharecropping, right? Where it's still where, in case you don't know what it is, we would stay on the plantation and work the plantation for the master, and he would allow us to have a place to stay while he reaps the benefits of the money, the monetary gain. And then after that, we got into the industrial big railroad boom and everything like that, and that can be debated that a lot of African Americans as well as the Chinese help build the railroad system. And what were they paid? Right? Peanuts. And even in some cases they used the prison inmates to do a lot of free labor. So and we can go on after that, right? Where black people were never compensated fairly throughout America. And this is no shade. This is no anything that's unfair. This is simply the truth. And even into this day in corporate America, it still exists. But let's move on.
Get tired. I hear people go, "You work a lot."
Yeah.
I'll have to. The math ain't mathing.
Here to discuss this with me now is actress Yvette Nicole Brown. Yvette, that has really touched a nerve in Hollywood. Taraji has been nominated for an Oscar. She's had multiple Emmys, Screen Actor Guild Awards. She's a household name. It's surprising to a lot of people to see those tears and to hear her say she's not being paid fairly.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, none of us are. The pay disparity for Black women, period, is horrible, and it extends to Hollywood as well. What broke my heart about seeing it is that Taraji is one of our treasures.
Now, I do want to put things into perspective and say that the pay disparity for not just black women, but also black men, because I believe that, if you look at the whole Friday cast where Chris Tucker said he got $10,000 and everyone else got 5 grand, and the movie went on to make millions, as well as so many other movies. I believe Terrence Howard is currently doing some type of filing a lawsuit in regards to what happened to his career. I think Hustle and Flow, he what 12 grand or something. He said he got paid. It was an independent film that ending up blowing up. But throughout history, it's always been a thing to use the African Americans at their most vulnerable point, because that's when not that's when, but I can that's usually when you'll see our best performance, to be honestly. We're trying to get out of poverty, we're trying to change our family, we're trying to, so they know this, okay? They know this. And at that moment, they'll offer you 10, 20 grand and say, hey, we don't know what the movie's going to do. No one knows, but here's 10, 20 grand. And no one really knows what the movie's going to do, but they can assume what it's going to do because they're looking at your raw talent and driving emotion over the screen. And eventually, if the movie blows up, they stick to the original agreement. Hey, you took 12 grand. That's it. I don't owe you anything. That's pretty much old school America shit, to be honest with you here. They've always treated us that way. Now, in the black community, I could say it used to be, or I can say at the core of true black people, we're not like that. If I agree with you and say, hey man, a $10,000 payment, and I end up making uh 5 million off of it, more than likely I'm gonna come back and renegotiate with you and let you eat more, because I may want to do a part two. And this is why Friday 2 never happened with Chris Tucker, because no one would pay him his fair wage.
You know what I mean? She's one of the ones that has been in the trenches for forever. She should be paid what she's worth. And the tears that she cried, they weren't just for her. Because each of us that are further along in our careers, we're trying to leave the door open for every Black actress that's coming up behind us. And the fear that she had and the despair that she had was that she is not making enough to be able to tell them what they should be asking for. And she
Yeah.
knows that if it's hard for her, it's even harder for them. So it broke my heart, and I think that's why everybody's been responding and chiming in and making sure she knows that we love her and we support her and that we're walking the same path with her.
Yeah. I want to play a little bit to what you were talking about here, about what she said in a separate interview.
Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here?
I want to explain something to you here, people. The Color Purple, Oprah Winfrey, right? She's behind it. And look, when I grew up, Color Purple was one of the most played movies in my household. But I am also the original director of that. I don't know if he was the writer, but Oliver Stone, white man. Now, the truth is this: we, let's take black people, let's start here. We already know that it's not a good thing to make a movie about ancient Rome and all about the Romans. Why? Because we're not Roman, number one. We can't tell their story the way they can tell it, or how we don't know how they really felt. We don't it would make no sense for black people to get together and say, hey, let's do a movie about ancient Rome, unless it pertained to us. We're going to tell our part of it. Now, with that being said, it never made any sense to me to see white writers and white producers do movies painting the perception of black people. I always looked at that as a negative, right? What is your motive for that? You don't know how we feel. So why are you painting a picture of how we feel when that is false? Now, the Color Purple, let me explain something to you here, people. I'm a positive guy. Positive. Positivity, I believe positivity pushes the envelope for any group of people, white, black, Chinese, whatever, pushes the envelope further. And the problem here, a lot of the problems here, is we stay stuck on the negative part of the past. there's nothing positive about Color Purple besides Celie ended up getting away from Mr. Man at the end and her sister reuniting with her. That's it. Okay. Suge Avery was a hoe. Oprah Winfrey was getting beat up on and by her dude, getting and Celie was getting beat up on and taken advantage of at a very young age. I believe her father gave her her first. Listen, I don't want to see those movies about black people anymore, especially when we have come so far and done so much more. Why are we still painting a picture like we still in slavery? Okay. I'm not against telling our past. That's what I'm not against. But what I am against is staying stuck in our past. The movie Color Purple was made years ago. It's done. Leave it alone. Now, I'm pretty sure this one is going to be a great movie. It's not to take away from the acting, the directing, the new technology. It's going to be a great movie. But I guess my point is this: if that movie, let's just throw a number out there, if that movie cost 20 million to make, why didn't we use 20 million dollars to make a movie about the advancement of black people since the time of Color Purple? I'll get a little bit into that a little bit more later, but let's continue here.
Pay in any industry in some ways is very subjective. I can only imagine in Hollywood it's even more so. What do you think is the reason that, Hollywood executives get away with paying someone like Taraji less and not giving her a raise movie to movie, role to role?
Well, systemic racism is a part of everything that happens in this nation. But beyond that, I think that there's this thing where they pit people against each other, where the idea is, well, if you don't want to do it, we'll get somebody else to do it. And
Now that goes all the way around the board, okay? Let me say that goes all the way around the board. Systemic racism is embedded in America's culture. I always tell people you can change the siding of a home, the roof of a home, the doors, the windows. You can make it look like an entirely different house. You can even add on to the home and make it from a 2 bedroom to a 3 bedroom to a 4 bedroom. Make it look like an entirely different house. But one thing you can never change is the foundation. The foundation of the home will remain. Okay. Now, I think Tyler Perry at one time said the reason that he actually purchased his studio in Atlanta was uh, because excuse the noise in the background, was because after all of his successful movies in Hollywood, they still failed to finance him. They would not finance him. Okay. They wouldn't give him the green light to do another movie. So he said, you know what? I'll take my talents elsewhere. And maybe he's investing in himself in that regard now, or he has his own private investors who pushes the envelope. But even in the world of YouTubing, right? It's obvious to me because I've been on YouTube since 2007. Now, granted, I never kept the same account, so I wasn't able to take advantage and build up this big base before this all became monetized. But I was on it for quite some time, a lot into 2007 and 8. But I've seen the difference here. Okay, what they have, and it's kind of hard to explain when there's a system behind a system behind a system behind a system. That's what's going on with us. There's a system behind a system behind a system that manifests what we see in front of us. And what do we see in front of us? Okay, people are being paid to gossip more than ever. Let's make that clear. I've never seen so many black men gossiping. Okay. I love to get on like Billy Carson. I love to watch black men do that. Knowledge, wisdom, bring forth a new understanding to the people that are listening. I love it. But YouTube has managed to monetize content and in a very slick, systematic way, they have stopped black men from speaking about a lot of the issues that we should be speaking about, like Tariq Nasheed, or Nasheed Tariq. I don't know how to say his name correctly, but if you know him, you know who I'm talking about. The the Muslim guy that was on Math Hoffa, I forgot his name, but this is where black men should be, speaking about the issues of our community, how we can secure our community, how we can make it a safer place, how we can uplift education, how we can make sure the next generation is ahead of this generation ahead of time. This, in my mind, when the internet started really unfolding, I thought that's what we would do and take advantage of. I thought we would now network and say, hey, brother, I'm flying out there where you at. Let's get something going. And you can fly out here. Let's get something going and let's get some donations. And now it sounds crazy, but that's what I thought we would do. And I believe at one time we started doing that with the Million Man March. And then they gave us incentives to not do that. We're going to pay you on YouTube to sit home and bash each other, beef with each other, and talk about each other. This is a system behind a system behind a system behind a system here. And until black people wake up and start, here's the solution to all of this. And I'm just being honest here. Here's the solution to all of it. And this is the part that we are completely afraid of. The solution to all of this is creating your own system. Just as the black people in Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Tampa, Florida, and Atlanta, and all of these various places. Now, granted, they were burnt down, but being that they were burnt down and mobbed and robbed and lynched, I think that goes to validate what I'm saying here. Us having our own system takes away a lot of the monetization from their system because a lot of their money is made on us fighting each other. So if we create our own system, we're more than likely working with each other versus fighting each other, which takes away a lot of their money. I guess if you look at it from just us, if you scale it up and you look at if you don't know, I can tell you right now, YouTube became very popular around 2009, 10, and a little bit before that actually, but 9, 10 it really blew up, and it became very popular of black people fighting in the hood. They had this one guy, the whole thug thing going from hood to hood, and they had this one guy shooting people on camera, and this was allowed back then on YouTube because this is what built their platform. Okay, let's move on.
Somebody's rent may be due, and so they may take the lesser amount, and we are lesser as a industry because we don't get to have the brilliance of someone as Taraji because they don't want to pay them what they're worth. And it's a fight that white actors don't have and white female actors don't have. And what she said that really resonated with me, Abby, was when she said even if she fights and gets what she needs for this particular film, she has to start all over again the next time she gets a film.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to walk in and say, well, I negotiated this, this, and this, and I am Taraji P Henson, and I have this Oscar nomination, whatever. No, it's like you're starting over and you just walked in and well, we're going to give you this $5 in a folding chair.
Well, I bet you $1 million that Julia Roberts doesn't have that problem. Okay. I can guarantee you that Julia Roberts does not have that problem. She's going to get what she's worth every time she walks in the door. And let me just say this, Julia Roberts is a phenomenal actress. She deserves what she gets. But so does Taraji P Henson. Unfortunately for black people, even when I listen to this conversation here, it's ping pong. It's ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Why aren't we getting what we should be? They should. The they should theory, they should, right? They should theory that black people have been fighting for that they should give us more money for the parks. They should be building more boys and girls clubs. They should be putting more money in the black community. They shouldn't be doing shit. They never did shit. So what really shocks me is when we stay on the they should, and for over 2, 3, 4, 500 years, they should have never worked, has never worked. And you have to, if you understand business, then you just get it, right? If I can pay you $1 for you to make me $1 million, and you take that $1, then hey, you took it. You took it. Now, once again, usually when you have some type of soul about yourself, even after that agreement and you end up making $1 million off this person's $1, you come back and you renegotiate and you give them something because you're like, yeah, you know what, man, you're worth it, man. You did a great job. This is how we got to $1 million. You're worth it. Here's an extra, man. Okay. Unfortunately, they're not that. They've never been that. Let me explain something to you here. When you can see cops consistently killing black men, unarmed black men, going to court and getting found not guilty every single time, that should tell you something. And I wanted to look, digest this. The average human being, especially black people, I'm going to say it, but the average human being cannot watch someone get killed innocently and not feel some type of pain, empathy, sympathy for that person who was killed. But guess what? They can do it time after time after time after time. Kill us, go to court, feel no empathy, cops weren't wrong, get it out of here. When are black people going to wake up about this matter and realize they should do this? They should. It's never, ever, ever going to come to fruition.
It's the same for all of us, and it's infuriating and exhausting.
One of the factors here, The Color Purple, she just said in that clip, she almost walked away from that film. That's a film that is near and dear to the heart of Oprah Winfrey, who's a part of that process. Does it surprise you to hear that even on a film like that, where there is a prominent Black woman as a part of the process of making it, that she could still feel that she was underpaid? Taraji, we're showing here, posted a photo of Oprah thanking her for supporting her throughout her career. But what do you make of that, Yvette?
First of all, let me just say this, people. Oprah Winfrey hasn't been black since the first Color Purple. Let's make that real clear, okay? She didn't. She's made it her point to say African American children don't want shit but material things, so I'm not supporting them. Listen, Oprah, I haven't seen anything black about you since the first Color Purple. See, when you understand this, like, look, she's like a female Diddy to me. And I don't mean in a sense of taking advantage of people in an SA kind of a way. No. But she's going to take advantage monetarily. She's not in this for black people. She's in this for Black Oprah, is what she's in it for. Look, if you come to her and you want a job, she has learned from the best in the business. And the best in the business is not black. Okay? She is going to offer you pennies to try to make millions. And you know what they use as leverage? Well, this is an opportunity for you to get seen in your face, to be out there more and to be involved with me. Taraji P Henson's face has been out there for years. We all know her. We all love her acting. We're all going to watch the movie because of her. That's a no-brainer, right? But someone like Oprah, as far as she is in the business and how long she's been in the business, you have to understand something here. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm being honest here. She loves other people more than she loved black people because the other people are writing her checks. Okay. She stands for no morals. She stands for she doesn't stand for black morality. She stands for checks, money. And I want to say there's nothing wrong with that. If someone chooses whatever you choose, there's nothing wrong with it. The wrong thing that she's doing is pushing the agenda or envelope to black people as if she cares about the black people, tricking them, making them feel like if I got next to Oprah, I listen, if you got next to Oprah, she's gonna try to make $10 million off of you and cut you a $5 check. That's the business. And she's learned from the best who are not black, and she carries the business the way the business should be carried because that is the foundation of the entertainment industry to extract the talent from mainly the vulnerable community and make as much money as you can and then kick them to the side. We've seen it many a times. The Frankie Lyman story. When, people, when are we going to say no fucking more? When do we stand up? Because that's what it's about, right? It's about you denying the opportunity for them to take advantage of you. Hey, you know what? I may miss this movie. I may not be in this movie, but take advantage of someone else. It won't be me. That's the problem with black people. The fame, the show, we're more about the show. I'll take a little bit of money if it's going to get me more fame. A lot of black people just want to be famous. And guess what? That's what they take advantage of. I'll make you famous tomorrow. Just sign right here, baby. And we sign.
Well, we don't know if Oprah had anything to do with the pay situation, so we can't
Yeah.
say that she was warring against anything that Oprah did in particular.
Well, let's just make this clear, okay? We don't know if Oprah had anything to do with the pay and blah blah blah, but we know that Oprah didn't green light to make sure that all of those black women got paid correctly. That's what we do know. Oprah, trust me, she has enough power to say, "I'm going to do this movie, and all minorities involved will get minimum this much pay, and according to their past work and popularity, or else I'm not doing it." Trust me, if she would have had that talk with her rich billionaire friends in the room, they would have looked at each other and said, "Well, okay, Oprah, we trust your decision here." That's the truth.
So I want to make sure I say that. I think a lot of times it comes from business affairs. You will talk to your friends, we're going to do this movie or this TV show together. And then by the time it gets to the lawyers negotiating, everything that you and your friend decided or you discussed gets torn down by the legal process. So sometimes it's the people in the legal department like, we're not giving her a trailer. Wait a minute, and so we never know where the breakdown is, but we know that the breakdown happens every time. This is not an isolated incident. Her tears are not just her tears. We all have cried them. We all are fighting to make it better. And again, it's not even just the entertainment industry. You can talk to any sister that's working in any industry, and we have to always fight harder. It's just the way it is. And we're tired of it being that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Even someone who
And let me tell you something. This CNN lady right here, you know what just ran through her mind? I'm not telepathic, but what was going through her mind was, bitch, even me, I'm sitting here right now getting paid half of what that white lady on CNN is getting paid. Okay? This is America, ladies and gentlemen. The foundation never changes. If black people want something different, they have to build something different. Okay? They said, they say, they said they was gonna help us do this. They said they was gonna build this. They said they was gonna fund it. They said, okay. They said that some regular people killed Martin Luther King. They said that some regular people killed Malcolm X. Come to find out, allegedly, that the government was behind it. They said the cops that beat Rodney King were not guilty. Black people, they have managed to take our focus off of the ball. They've managed to take our focus off of what's important. And what is important? That we create equality, not wait and ask for equality. That sounds crazy to me. I go to someone else asking for equality. No. I'm a man like you. I'm not even going to go to you demanding nor asking equality, because if I'm smart enough to see that if your mind is set on not being equal to me or me not being equal to you, I'm from the streets. If I see that your mind is set that way, no matter what comes out of your mouth, I know what's in your mind. So I won't allow you to trick me with your technology and devilish ways. And that's what Black people consistently allow them to do. We allow them to come out of their mouth with certain things and promises, broken promises. But yet, we ignore their actions, their history. And we believe what comes out of their mouth until we look at the check. And then we say, damn it. Where's my other part of the check? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. And then that's when the audible comes in. I feel bad for this Black woman, as well as I feel bad for a lot of Black men that go through the same damn thing. But I also believe that the answer to this is not asking them, begging them, seeking sympathy from them, tearing up in front of them. None of this is going to help. None of it is going to help. The only thing that stops this and changes this, Martin Luther King showed us years ago what the solution is. The solution has always been boycott. Their money. They don't have the feelings that you have. They have money. Their money is their feelings. So as long as we support shit, buy shit, surf on their sites, there's no incentive for them to stop doing what they're doing, because as long as we're doing that, the money's still coming, baby. I hear what you're saying, but give me my money, honey. We're being pimped. 101. Anyways, that's my little take on it. If you have a comment that you want to leave below, please leave the comment below.
Stand on top like I'm King Kong. Paddle niggas like a ping pong. Run my block like I'm King Vaughn.